YouTube shorts are just all Jujutsu Kaisen anime. It's crazy. People really be into that JJK. I am so curious to see. I gotta catch up with the manga. I've been reading so many other things. I've been reading. I still read a lot of slice of life romance comedy. Like akin to the stuff like Kaguya-sama Love is War. But I don't read that specifically, although I do have that logged in on my my Annie list. But I read like other stuff. Quoting the last game, new game, stuff like this. But what's crazy about that though? Oh yeah, wait, you should do this a certain way. Yeah, I had to do it a certain way. Hang on. What's interesting is I do read, and then I'm reading a bit of a South Korean manhwa, and what's funny about manhwa is there's a lot of slice of life romance comedy in manhwa too, which is interesting. But it kind of came out around the same time that slice of life that stuff did in Japan manga, but Japanese manga. But I'm reading one called A Returner's Magic Should Be Special. And apparently that just got made to a Japanese anime. So, and there's a dub, and I don't know if, now I've only like TikTok and YouTube shorts, I don't know if that's a fan dub, but that is crazy that there's already like a dub for it, because I remember like it used to be that like, you would have these animes that would have the sub, the raws and the subs for like the first like year or two, and then like, missed the gem, interesting. And then you get like the dub for it like a year or something like later. And now it seems like anime dub and sub has caught up to themselves and each other a lot better nowadays. But I think the biggest one for me is The Returner's Magic Should Be Special, manhwa-wise. But what's funny is I also, because the thing about manhwa is also very synonymous with webtoons. And I was trying to read into these webtoons, but apparently a lot of these webtoons are not technically on any list because they're technically not, they're like not technically like Korean or Japanese made. Weird. Like there's a couple of them that are actually fascinating stories, and just like some of them are somewhere between like just a lot of lore and romance and emotion, and others are like a lot of political like commentary. It's like whoa, like originally it's like the classic manhwas forever ago would have been like Noblesse and Tower of God. There's one called Hive, which is, it was in 500 chapters 5 years ago, so now it's got to be way more than that, or it finished. And then there's one I was reading, though, called Soul Cartel. And then there was this other one, whoops. But now, like there's some of them aren't technically, like, Korean or Japanese made, like, there's one called Siren's Lament, and another one called Unordinary, and apparently these are like made by like Americans or something. And Unordinary is a fascinating one because I'm curious to see what the theme of that. You ever like read a story or get into a story because you're like, I'm curious what the theme of this is, like what's kind of the motif, what's the moral, what's the idea,
I'm not sure. I'm curious to hear more about it, because, I read webtoon things, and I read mangas and stuff, but I don't get into, the manhwas.
Yeah.
But don't get...
Lots of crossover with manhwa and webtoons, because a lot of manhwa ended up kind of being first put on webtoon sites, instead of, manga sites, when it was a lot more, back around maybe, 2016, 2017, when it was a bit more, up and coming, like Noblesse. sites really do just kind of have webtoons, and then a lot of manhwas are now picked up by manga sites. So, yeah, there's this one manhwa called Returner's Magic Should Be Special. The thing about this manhwa is it's interesting because it starts off, there's this apocalyptic battle, and between like mages and sorcerers and warriors, like kind of like a fantasy RPG party. And then what happens is they all fight against a really big, powerful dragon, and everyone is like almost dead, and they're defeating this evil dragon at the end of it all by the skin of their teeth. And in the end, they defeat him, but then, at least in the way that I remember in the manhwa, they defeat him, but then he explodes. He has like a dynamite, he's like a detonation thing going on. And the detonation kills them all. And then, at the very last second, what ends up happening is, it turns out that the main character is, and in the manhwa he's called Desir Armon, but in the anime they call him Desir Hermon. What happens with Desir is he ends up apparently like getting like sort of kind of isekai'd, where he's basically like he's revived and thrown into the past to like stop that event from like happening. And you then get the world building of everything that basically happens up to that point. Only this time around, you know, he has to actually really like pay attention and be a lot more involved in like the world of what's going on, like more than ever. And he has the knowledge, all the knowledge and wisdom of what he's seen from the future. So it's very anime in that regard, because that kind of takes me back to like the Detective Conan days, where it's like that plot line of Detective Conan where he was once like a really smart junior or high school detective, and then he ends up being put into a boy's body, and then the boy can like solve cases really well. So it's very interesting in that regard. But immediately what happens is we're met with a kind of societal classism, where one of the reasons why the society is not very unified to take on like the apocalyptic dragon at the very end/future/past of the story is that there's a lot of like classism. They're separated into beta, and alpha class. And it's
oh my god.
It's basically peasants and rich men.
Oh, I thought you were gonna be like, those in heat and those not gonna get the heat.
Right? Oh, like a werewolf thing, okay.
Yeah.
What ends up happening is Desir was always the peasant, so he was always in beta class, but he's the smartest now in this new timeline because he knows what happens about a lot of things. And so he just kind of puts everyone to shame. He's kind of like, he has the sort of OP anime main character thing going on, and some of the like more like power fantasy OP things. But it's of course, it's kind of a character depth thing for him, because it's not super out of the blue. It's like he saw like an apocalyptic future. So what happens is you see that you're like, okay, well maybe this society had an issue with ever getting to be fully unified for like this apocalyptic war because of their like classism and bigotry. But then the tables get kind of turned, because there's actually, of course, enmity and animosity between different like countries. And so you're like, oh, maybe there's this that's happening too. But then later on, in like a couple other like 40, 50 chapters, you learn about the main antagonists, which are called the Outsiders. And the Outsiders are people who end up wanting to rebel against the society because of the society's classism and bigotry. And so they end up they're like they're T-words, the terrorists. Like they end up like killing people and like bombing places and stuff like that. And you're like, wow. I'm gonna make Italian barley soup.
Yeah.
Well, let's turn music volume down. Let's get resume. I just listened back to the last episode. Apparently I'm a little quiet, so you know what? We going scream in this one. I'm not inaudible. I'm just quieter than I thought I'd be.
Now that Thanksgiving's over, we can safely start decorating for Oh no! And it's Untitled Goose. He's like gonna take. He's taking the top of the Christmas tree.
Oh my god. The goose is whoosh.
The whoosh is whoosh. The goosen is woosen.
Mein Goosen!
Mein goosen.
Ay, 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 ay. Okay.
Oh!
Good.
Yesterday, Macaulay Culkin just got a star on Hollywood.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
the Culkin family, Brenda Song, which is Macaulay's wife,
That was way too close. Oh my
Paris
God.
Jackson and Seth Green helped him celebrate his star in Hollywood.
Oh jeez. Nice.
Why is he making a cocktail shaker in a mason jar?
Oh, you're talking about gastronomical.
Yeah. Because then here are the hashtags. After hours. Bread boy. Gastronomical sandwiches. Local bakery. Fresh bread is in town. Fresh sourdough. Japanese milk bread. Bread around. For a cocktail. You put bread in your cocktail?
Yeah, I'm like, you are the bread guy. Are you making like a bread cocktail? I wonder, how would that be? Are you just, adding like flour and yeast? And I mean, that's just fermentation, right? Like,
This is my favorite comment, and I want to read it too.
okay.
It's the only comment too. First of all, if that's a Manhattan or old fashioned, they shouldn't be shaken. Only stirred.
What?
Yeah. It's my favorite comment.
Oh boy. Oh god. Yeah. There we go. Zippity doo dah that way. I'm so bold. I laugh react at Facebook comments that I think are just dumb and silly. And apparently people are taking that personally now. I'm a part of this group, and I shouldn't be, because it's just drama all the time. But it's like stupid drama. It's like guy drama.
Yeah.
Because it's the Invincible Omni posting meme Facebook group, and it's constant drama, and it's funny because it's like I think there's like a post where someone made some sort of comment about because what it is you have like leftist shit posters, and you have right-wing people who are like pretty unabashedly like society should be rough and tumble and you should suffer, and oh my, I think we should stop here.
Oh my.
But someone was making some sort of comment, and then a bunch of people laugh reacted him, and he did like that edit thing where they're all like, edit, all the laugh reacts are losers. It's just, I'm like, oh my god. But it's great, dude, because I wish we truly won't have a proper social media until we can react to reactions. That's gonna really just throw things for a loop.